Hey everyone, and welcome back. Thinking about a career move in 2025.
Well, you're in luck. Today, we're diving into some seriously valuable future skills.
You know how much data we create every day is blowing up.
Blowing up is an understatement. Get this. By 2025, we're talking over 2.5 million terabytes of financial data alone every single day.
Whoa, every day. That's like downloading the entire Netflix library every single minute.
Exactly. And that's why we're diving deep into why mastering hands-on data science and big data analytics with Python skills is the key to thriving in 2025.
Okay, I'll admit, the title's a mouthful.
Haha, it is. But this source is pure gold. It breaks down why data science, big data analytics, and knowing Python are going to be huge EE for your career in the future.
So it's like a cheat sheet for future success.
Basically, it's all about riding that data wave. Because remember, it's not just about how MUCH data there is.
It's about what you can do with it, right?
You got it. It's like a modern-day gold rush. Data is everywhere, but the real treasure is the insight we can extract from it.
So instead of mining for gold, we're mining for insights.
Precisely. And that's where data science and big data analytics come in.
Okay, I'm intrigued, but let's break it down. What exactly are data science and big data analytics?
Well, think of data science as the art of uncovering hidden patterns and insights from data to solve specific problems.
Like helping a business figure out which products their customers really want.
Yeah, exactly. Data science could help them predict what customers are likely to buy next based on their past purchases and browsing history.
So it's like having a crystal ball for business.
Pretty much. It's all about using data to make smarter decisions.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, what about big data analytics? How is that different?
Big data analytics is all about dealing with massive data sets, often from multiple sources. We're talking about data so huge that traditional methods of analysis just won't cut it.
So it's like the difference between trying to sip from a fire hose versus a regular garden hose.
Haha, perfect analogy. Big data analytics is about using specialized tools and techniques to handle that fire hose of information and find meaningful trends and patterns within it.
Got it. So big data analytics is about wrangling those massive data sets, and data science is about using data to answer specific questions and solve problems.
You nailed it. And here's the thing. Both of these fields are absolutely exploding right now.
Exploding in a good way, I hope.
Oh, definitely. The demand for data professionals is skyrocketing, and it's only going to continue to grow as we create more and more data. This means incredible job opportunities and earning potential for those with the right skills.
Okay, so we've got data exploding all around us, tons of job opportunities, and a source that tells us exactly how to thrive in this data-driven world. Sounds like we're off to a good start. But I have to ask, why is Python always mentioned when we talk about data science and big data analytics? I mean, there are tons of programming languages out there.
Oh, Python's definitely having a moment, and there are some really good reasons for that. Python's like that friend everyone loves because they're easy to get along with, they're super helpful, and they can adapt to any situation.
Okay, I'm seeing the appeal here, but break it down for me. What specifically makes Python so well suited for data science and big data analytics?
Well, first off, it's super readable. The code is clean and easy to understand, even if you're not a seasoned programmer.
So it's beginner-friendly.
Absolutely. It's a great language to start with. And the other great thing about Python is its adaptability. It's got a huge ecosystem of libraries specifically designed for data work.
Libraries, like in a library full of books.
Kind of. Think of them as pre-written code modules that handle specific tasks. So instead of reinventing the wheel every time you need to, say, clean up a data set or run a statistical analysis, you can just use a library that someone else has already built and tested.
That sounds like a huge time saver.
It is, and that's what makes Python so powerful for data science and big data analytics. It's got all the tools you need, ready to go, and it's relatively easy to pick up and start using.
Okay, Python is powerful, adaptable, beginner-friendly. What's not to love? But I have to admit, sometimes when I hear about all these powerful tools and libraries, I feel a little intimidated. Like, can I actually learn this stuff?
I totally get that. It can seem overwhelming at first. But the good news is that you don't have to be a coding genius to get started with data science and big data analytics. Python's designed to be accessible, and there are tons of resources available to help you learn. Which brings us back to our deep dive source.
Right. The source emphasizes the importance of hands-on experience.
Yeah.
Why is that so crucial? Can't I just learn by reading books and watching tutorials?
You know how they say practice makes perfect?
Yeah, but does that apply to data science too?
Absolutely. Data science is a skill, and like any skill, you have to actually do it to learn it. Reading about it is a great start, but it's like learning to ride a bike by just reading the manual.
You'll fall flat on your face.
Exactly. You need to get your hands dirty, experiment, make mistakes, and learn from them. That's where the real learning happens.
So it's about getting out of the textbooks and into the real world of data.
Precisely. And that's where Python boot camps can be so valuable.
Boot camps, as in for data.
Yep. They're like intensive training programs that immerse you in the world of data science and big data analytics. You learn by working on real-world projects, using the same tools and techniques that professionals use every day.
So it's like a data science crash course.
That's a great way to put it. And they're becoming increasingly popular because they're incredibly effective. You learn much faster than you would in a traditional classroom setting, and you graduate with a portfolio of projects that you can actually show to potential employers.
Okay, I'm starting to see the appeal of these boot camps. But before we dive into that, I want to make sure I'm clear on the distinction between data science and big data analytics. They seem like very similar fields.
They are related, for sure, but they have distinct focuses. Data science, like we talked about, is all about extracting insights from data to answer specific questions or solve specific problems.
So it's like being a data detective.
Exactly. You're using data to investigate, uncover clues, and solve mysteries.
I like it. What about big data analytics? How does that fit into the picture?
Big data analytics is more about processing and analyzing those massive data sets, often from multiple sources, to identify trends and patterns. It's like having a giant jigsaw puzzle and using data to piece it all together and see the big picture.
So if data science is about solving mysteries, big data analytics is about assembling giant jigsaw puzzles.
Love the analogy. And here's where it gets really interesting.
Uh-oh, I know that look. What's coming next?
Well, according to our source, these fields are actually starting to converge.
Diverge, like merging together.
Exactly. As data sets get larger and more complex, data scientists need the tools and techniques of big data analytics to handle the volume and velocity of information. And big data analysts need the insights and problem-solving skills of data science to make sense of those massive data sets.
Hold on. So you're saying that by learning both data science and big data analytics, I'm not just preparing for a job, I'm preparing for the future of data itself.
You got it. And that's why our source is such a gem. It emphasizes the importance of mastering both data science and big data analytics with Python. It's about having a comprehensive skill set that makes you adaptable and valuable in a world that's rapidly becoming more data-driven every single day.
Wow, this is starting to feel less like a career move and more like a data-powered adventure. But how do I even begin to learn all of this? It seems so overwhelming.
I hear you. It can definitely feel like a lot. But that's where the beauty of Python and those boot camps comes in.
Right. You mentioned boot camps earlier, and I'm definitely curious to learn more about how they can help someone like me who's just starting out on this data journey.
Well, one of the biggest benefits of a boot camp is that it's incredibly hands-on. From day one, you're working on real-world projects, using the same tools and techniques that professionals use every day. It's like being thrown into the deep end of the pool, but with a team of expert instructors there to guide you and make sure you don't drown.
So it's like a data science simulation where you get to learn by doing instead of just reading about it.
Exactly. And because boot camps are so immersive, you learn much faster than you would in a traditional classroom setting. Plus, you have access to experienced mentors who can provide personalized feedback and guidance. It's like having a data science coach in your corner, helping you every step of the way.
That sounds amazing. But what about the social aspect? I imagine learning data science can be pretty isolating, especially if you're doing it on your own.
That's another advantage of boot camps. You're learning alongside other motivated individuals who are just as passionate about data as you are. It creates a supportive community where you can collaborate, share ideas, and learn from each other. It's like joining a data science tribe.
So it's not just about learning technical skills. It's about building a network of peers and mentors who can support you throughout your data science journey.
Precisely. And since boot camps are so focused on practical skills, they teach you the specific tools and technologies that companies are actually using right now.
So by the time I finish a boot camp, I'll not only have the skills, but also the confidence to walk into a job interview and impress potential employers.
Exactly. It's like having a fast track into the data science world. But let's dive a little deeper into Python itself and explore why it's become such an indispensable tool in the data world. We'll be right back after a quick break.
Okay, so back to Python. We were comparing it to like the Beyonce of the data world.
Uh-huh, yeah. Talented, adaptable, and in high demand.
But why? What makes it so special, especially compared to all those other programming languages out there?
Well, Python's a bit like a Swiss Army knife. You can use it for practically anything, web development, scripting, automation. It's not just about data.
Oh, interesting. So it's not a one-trick pony?
Nope. That's one of its big strengths. But when it comes to data, it really shines. What's cool is that Python wasn't always the data language. Other languages were popular, but Python sort of took over.
Took over like how streaming changed how we listen to music?
Exactly. It's really shaken things up in the data world. Part of it is how easy it is to read.
Ah, that's good. Some of those other programming languages make my head spin.
I know, right? It's like they were designed to be complicated. But Python's different. It's clean, concise, almost like reading plain English.
So even a beginner could pick it up without too much trouble.
Absolutely. And that means you can focus on the data itself, not on trying to decipher the code. Plus, it's got this massive library of, well, libraries like pandas, NumPy, scikit-learn.
Those names sound familiar.
They're super popular, and they make working with data so much easier. They're like pre-built tools that let you do complex things without having to code everything from scratch.
Like if I needed to clean up a messy data set.
There's a library for that. Or if you wanted to do machine learning.
Machine learning. Whoa. I always picture robots taking over the world when I hear that.
Haha, it's not quite that dramatic. Think of it as teaching computers to learn from data and make predictions. Like those movie recommendations you get on Netflix. That's probably a machine learning algorithm at work.
So it's not just about coding, it's about building smart systems that can actually learn. That's pretty amazing when you think about it.
It is, and Python makes all of that possible.
But wait, back to the libraries. What makes them so great?
Well, first off, they're free, they're open source, so anyone can use them. But more importantly, they're constantly evolving and improving thanks to a huge and super active community.
Ah, the Python community. The source mentions that a lot. It's like a big deal, right?
Huge deal. It's like having a global network of data enthusiasts at your fingertips, all willing to help you out and share their knowledge.
So if I'm stuck on a problem, I can just reach out to the community and someone will have my back.
Pretty much. There are forums, online groups, tons of resources. It's incredibly supportive.
That's pretty awesome. It's like having a built-in support system as you're learning.
Exactly. And speaking of support systems, that's another area where those Python bootcamps really shine. You've got experienced mentors guiding you, providing feedback.
Okay, let's fast forward a bit. Let's say I've done the boot camp. I've got the skills. What kind of jobs am I looking at in 2025?
The sky's the limit. Seriously, the job market for data professionals is booming. And what's really interesting is how much this is affecting all kinds of industries, not just tech.
Wait, so it's not just Silicon Valley that needs data people?
Nope. Think healthcare, finance, marketing, entertainment, government, you name it. Everyone needs people who can make sense of data.
Wow, I never realized it was that widespread. So, like, what could I be analyzing patient data to help doctors make better decisions?
Exactly. Or predicting financial trends, personalizing marketing campaigns. Data is becoming the secret sauce for success in pretty much every field.
Okay, that's pretty mind-blowing. But let's get specific. If I wanted to land one of these amazing data jobs in 2025, what skills should I be focusing on?
Well, like we said, Python's the foundation. You need to be comfortable with the language, understand how to use it to manipulate data, run analyses. Think of it like learning the alphabet before you can write a novel.
Python is my alphabet. Got it. What comes next?
Well, then you start getting into those libraries we talked about. Pandas for data manipulation, NumPy for working with numbers, scikit-learn for machine learning.
Ah, so it's not just about the code itself. It's about knowing how to use the right tools for the job.
Exactly. And then there's big data technologies tools like Apache Spark and Hadoop, which are designed to handle those truly massive data sets.
Spark, Hadoop. Okay, now my head's spinning again.
I know, it's a lot. But the good news is you don't have to become an expert in everything overnight. Start with the basics, build a strong foundation in Python, and gradually expand your knowledge as you go.
So it's like build a house brick by brick.
Exactly. And remember, the field is always changing, so being willing to learn and adapt is just as important as any particular skill.
That's a good point. It's not about what you know today. It's about your ability to keep learning tomorrow.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And that's what makes this whole data thing so exciting. It's not just a job, it's a journey. It's about constantly exploring, experimenting, finding new ways to use data to make things better, solve problems, even change the world.
I'm definitely starting to see the appeal. But let's zoom out for a second. Data is becoming such a huge part of our lives. It's kind of mind-boggling.
It really is. And honestly, that's a whole other conversation we need to have. What does this data explosion mean for our world? How do we ensure we're using data responsibly and ethically?
Oh, those are big questions, and I think it's time we tackle them. All right, deep breaths, everyone. We've talked about the skills, the jobs, the Python.
But now it's time to talk about the bigger picture.
Exactly. What happens when data is basically running the show?
Well, we're already seeing glimpses of that, right? Data is changing how we communicate, how we shop, even how doctors treat patients.
It's like data is becoming this invisible force shaping our world.
And by 2025, that force is only going to get stronger, which is why we need to talk about data literacy.
Data literacy. Is that like being able to read a spreadsheet?
Haha, it's more than that. It's about understanding how data works, how it's collected, how it's used. Because if we don't understand data, we can't really participate in the conversations that are shaping our future.
So it's like data is becoming a new language we all need to learn.
Exactly. And like any language, it can be used in both good and bad ways. So we need to be aware of the potential pitfalls as well as the amazing possibilities.
That makes sense. We've talked about the power of data, but there's a flip side to that, right?
Absolutely. There's a huge ethical dimension to all of this. As our reliance on data grows, so does the importance of using it responsibly.
So it's not just about having the technical skills, it's about having a sense of, like, data ethics.
Exactly. Data ethics is all about making sure data is used fairly, transparently, and with respect for individual privacy.
So our listeners are learning Python. They're mastering data science and big data analytics. They're thinking about data ethics. What's the one piece of advice you'd give them as they head out into this data-driven world?
Stay curious. Ask questions. Don't be afraid to challenge assumptions. Data is all about discovery, about finding new insights and connections. The more you explore, the more amazing things you'll uncover.
So keep that beginner's mind, that thirst for knowledge.
Exactly, because the data landscape is constantly changing. What you learn today might be different tomorrow. The key is to stay adaptable, to keep learning and growing.
All right, let's bring it all home. We've covered a lot of ground today. What are the key takeaways our listeners should be remembering as they plan their next career move?
Data is the future, point blank. No matter what field you're in, being able to understand and work with data is going to be a huge asset.
It's like the price of admission to the 21st century workforce.
Exactly. And Python, that's your backstage pass. It's the language that's going to unlock all those amazing data opportunities.
And if you want to learn Python and get those data skills, those boot camps we talked about are a fantastic option. Hands-on experience, expert guidance, it's a recipe for success.
And remember, as you're diving into this data world, always think about the ethical implications of your work. Data is powerful, and we have a responsibility to use it for good.
Well said. So to all our listeners out there, get ready to ride the data wave. The future is waiting to be shaped, and you can be a part of it.
Keep on diving.